legends of Christmas. And here are two people on my naughty list, Neil and Chris.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our special Christmas series, 12 Legends of Christmas, and this is Urbane Legends. Happy 27th, everyone. Hope you're having a nice time. I am Chris Flynn, and with me, still stuck in his garden bunker, is Mr.
Neil Herbert.
Hi, Neil. How do you think we're getting on? I enjoyed earlier I enjoyed earlier when we practiced kissing for when we get real girlfriends. That was good.
Mm.
You've got you're very gentle, whereas I'm more of a biter.
Yeah.
I did break the skin several times.
Didn't take feedback well, did we?
No, not particularly. Yeah, I mean, it's getting a bit claustrophobic in here now, but we've still got plenty of supply, so we're doing all right. But there's no sign of the weather letting up, is there? Unfortunately.
No, I didn't expect to be snowed in for quite this long, but yeah.
Yeah, you missing missing the outside world, missing your family.
Yeah, just not missing you really is more the point. A bit too close quarters, I think, for such a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, I think that's true. I can be a bit much. I do talk quite incessantly and quickly. I think that's fair to say. I ask a lot of questions.
Did me standing in the corner just staring at the wall not sort of holding up for a conversation?
Like that bit of the Blair Witch Project at the end.
Very much so.
And I'm going, Neil, why is Moon? But yeah, we've still got plenty of food. I had a tin of sweet corn earlier, so that.
Ain't gonna run out of pruno anytime soon. So.
Yeah, and we've still got plenty of the ingredients of our delicious toilet wine, prison style toilet wine. So, we kind of do this, and then get on the toilet wine, play a game of Uno or something, and then try and get a good 14 hours kip, don't we?
Wait for release or the sweet release of death, one or the other.
Well, the toilet wine's probably bringing that closer.
Yeah, hastening the inevitable.
I would have thought so. So, Neil, have you got a Christmas-style legend for us to have
lines off the horror we're living through? Yeah. Into the horror of Christmas.
The horror of Christmas.
I'm going to be reading from Ripley's.
Believe it or not.
Home of all things weird, as I believe it is. This is the terrible tale of Hans Trapp. Christmas Scarecrow.
Christmas Scarecrow.
I believe this is yet another one of Santa Claus's gang of misfits
for fuck's sake.
He hangs out with.
What's he doing?
He's a naughty boy,
He hangs around with
wants to get on his
right moody cunts, doesn't he?
He does. He wants to have a look at himself. Honestly, the company he keeps. Okay.
I wonder if Coca-Cola know this. His primary sponsor.
That's probably ones who covered it up, weren't they? He used to be like, the Dirty Dozen or something, and then just focus on the jolly fat lad, yeah. He's better for selling sugar water. Yeah, the sort of corporal punishment side, not so much.
Yeah, not now we've taken cocaine out of it. Stupidly.
Oh,
idiots. First they take cocaine out, then they sanitise Santa's Dirty Dozen style gang, and then they sponsor the Qatar World Cup. I mean, this is why I stick to Pepsi.
It's going well.
Also because I always think that Pepsi's more futuristic.
Do you?
I do, yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe because it's in Back to the Future too.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. Well, something about that.
Maybe that's it. Or maybe it's because it's the taste of a new generation, Neil.
Well, there is that.
Well, I think
it was back in the 80s anyway.
Well, and its letterings and its symbols more futuristic, whereas Coca-Cola, that kind of italic, handwritten style logo looks like...
It's kind of classic, do you know what I mean? It's not Pepsi's just a bit try-hard,
Whatever.
Not
You've clearly never had Virgin Cola.
Sugar waters.
Clearly never had Richard Branson's Virgin Cola.
I've had Panda Pop, and they're nice.
Virgin Cola, do you know that they...
straight out of the bottle.
Virgin Cola, when they did that, the hilariously, because you know how things used to be different in the 90s?
Yeah, quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah. The bottle was meant to be the same proportions as Pamela Anderson's figure, and she advertised it. That's nice, isn't it, Neil?
Yeah. And that was back in Richard Branson's extremely long misogynist marketing period. Just didn't do a whole load of things to just like, advertise. Well, you needed either Extreme or Babes to advertise in the 90s, didn't you? Or Extreme Babes.
I do sometimes try not to wonder what goes on his private island.
You go asking questions, you're going to find answers you don't like. It's an abyss you don't want to go staring at.
My uncle used to live with him.
Really?
Yeah, my Uncle Sean, him and my Uncle Sean used to live in a squat in London in the early 70s and wrote like a music magazine together.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he got into the music biz, and that was kind of his first thing, Virgin Records.
Yeah, he used to run out of a phone box, didn't he?
So my Uncle Sean knew him then. And he can still get in contact with him now if he needed to, but he doesn't, obviously.
No. Well, you might want to sponsor a podcast, you never know.
Might want to Virgin Podcast.
Highly unlikely, but... so going from
one bearded maniac to another.
Something like that. I was trying to think of what the second would be. The dreaded Christmas scarecrow, adorned in straw as a disguise, waiting on lonely roads for a victim. So far, so good.
Is he Santa's hanging around with this?
Yeah.
Fucking scarecrow.
He's loving it. I picture
we've gone from someone who beats people to someone who steals kids to now a demonic scarecrow that ambushes people.
Well, I think it's Santa now. He's like St. Nicholas. He's like Frank Beef out of Blue Velvet or something. It's all very calm on the surface, and then he's just like huffing gas, doing insane shit behind the scenes. Right. Well, let's see. Maybe he's not so bad, Yeah. I mean, he might not be as bad as Krampus, and
I'm not going to judge him just for being a scarecrow.
Yeah. Hey, and maybe he just looks.
Some people have compared me to a scarecrow, Neil. Yeah. I'm not all bad. Not just scarecrows.
You do terrify birds from fields.
I do terrify birds, yeah. Fuck them, they used to be dinosaurs. We're in charge now.
Yeah. And don't ever let them forget it. Right. Let's dive into this article. The holidays are seen as a time of peace, goodwill and generosity. Don't know about that. We gather with friends and family, that's a bit more accurate, share gifts and eat huge decadent meals with all the trimmings.
What's your normal Christmas meal? What meat do you have?
Turkey. Very traditional like that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I find turkey quite dry. It's kind of like worse chicken.
Oh, none of us like it. And they're all right, as long as you don't ever cook them. But yeah, it's one of the least flavoursome.
We moved to having, if we can get hold of it, because they can be quite difficult to get hold of, a rib of beef, which is the nicest beef. Oh, that shit's tasty. I used to have a leg of lamb, but I stopped eating lamb because I quite like an animal to have a bit of a life before I consume it. And you can't really get hold of mutton in this country, which is a shame. Yeah,
without kind of ordering it specially, it's quite hard to get hold of.
Anyway, little aside there.
Anyway, yeah, there you go.
Pigs and blankets.
Very traditional, turkey with all the trimmings. So at the root of all these celebrations, however, is a very dark and grim past.
Here we go. Again.
Yeah. The legend of St. Nicholas, Santa Claus himself, began with a tale of the Greek Bishop of Myrna, a Roman town in Turkey in the late 3rd to the early 4th century. As one fantastical story goes, Bishop Nicholas once discovered an innkeeper had murdered 3 children and cut their bodies into pieces, and yet Nicholas was still able to revive them.
That's
then he was hanging around with the innkeeper.
That's the same as Necked Rupert, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that was one of his origin stories, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Along with the many good deeds of this zealous Christian in a time of heavy persecution, just hang around with serial killers.
Why not? Well, we don't know what the kids have done.
No, that's true.
Might have stolen a pickled egg.
No, yeah. If you want, like pickling so much, what's the point of this barrel? Said the innkeeper. Hard times. Full century, that could have been the difference between his family starving and living.
Yeah.
Right. Or let's say 4th century or today.
Yeah.
These tales cemented Nicholas's place as a saint, a protector of children, and a generous gift giver.
So that's the tale of St. Nicholas, is it? That he brought back to life the 3 dead kids?
Well, it seems, yeah. I mean, this
and
is
that's kind of been confabulated with Necht Peter.
Was it? Yeah, was it?
Oh, no, sorry, Necht Rupert.
Yeah, Necht Rupert. He's a Farmer Rupert or whatever.
Rupert.
Yeah. What was our Boxing Day tale? Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't expecting that, but that's. I think there's more probably stories around St. Nicholas, but that does seem to. I mean, that's
the origin story.
We've come across one of his origin stories. I mean, that's quite a good trick, isn't it? Bringing people back to life. Yeah.
Especially when
you said yesterday. What did they come? Did they come back right or not? That's a question.
Yeah, especially when they've been chopped up.
Well, it doesn't say they've been chopped up.
I thought it did.
Oh, actually.
They're chopped up and put in barrels.
Not cut their bodies into pieces. No, you're quite right. Sorry. I got the paragraph I just read. Yeah. Wow. That is impressive. Do you reckon he just did like
a Frankenstein
Hans Gimster type thing where he...
Well, my body works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably. That's where it came from.
These 3 living horrors, they're just... We can't die now. Wondering the...
Please!
Yeah. Right.
That's where zombies come from.
Yeah, and that's where the Hellraiser came from. Cenobites. Along with the many good deeds of this zealous Christian in time of heavy persecution, these tales cemented his place as a saint, protector of children, generous gift giver, yada yada yada. If Santa Claus himself can revive the dead, though, wait until you meet the fearsome anti-Santa, Hans Trapp, the Christmas scarecrow.
Do you know what? Like, there's one Santa and about 1,000 anti-Santas.
Yeah. So who was he? For as long as there's been a jolly old St. Nick providing gifts for well-behaved children, there's been someone or something else filling the role of his counterpart, punishing the naughty ones.
Mm.
So these fearsome figures range from the iconic horned Krampus to Perchta, the shape-shifting Christmas witch who fills disobedient children's bellies with straw.
Yeah, we looked at that one last Christmas, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Perchta was our Christmas one
special.
We're obviously doing a whole load of them this year, so we've covered Krampus. That was your Christmas Day present.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that. Well, if you'd been good little boys and girls, you might have gotten a nice present, mightn't you? But you've been listening to our podcast, so we can tell you're on the naughty list. You'll get your lump of coal and like it. So the terrifying Hans Trapp is possibly the worst of all, though.
Oh, well, that's a big claim.
Now, because I was thinking, Krampus actually didn't seem that bad. He's like beating people around the legs and stuff. And then we've gone to Ruprecht, who's kind of like,
kills kids.
Yeah. So, we're escalating. I'm worried about where this is going. So one story in particular describes an instance in which he stabbed a child, sliced him into tiny pieces, and cooked and ate his flesh. Okay, we've gone firmly into Ed Gein territory here. Start making furniture out of them and shit. Oh, where'd your little chair come from, Hans?
Well, it's very soft leather.
Literal kid gloves.
Right, so he's taking it up a further notch.
Yeah, he's just escalating further and further, whilst the Nick just like,
yeah, oh God,
what am I gonna do?
What have you been up to?
Because if he's eaten them, presumably he can't sort of like reanimate out his turd or something. Well, no, I'm just thinking he's got to bring them back to life. So if he sliced them and shoved them in a barrel, you bring them back to life. I mean,
but he can't bring these ones back to life because they've been digested.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But what is it? There's what's the legal term for no body, no murder?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a Latin thing, isn't it?
Well, there's habeas corpus, which is produce the body, but that's more about that's about you have to show the person is still alive.
Oh, okay.
So it means, but that's around. You have to, you can't retain somebody for more than 24 hours or whatever it is because they, you could have killed them or whatever, or at least prove that this.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, whatever.
Move on.
The legend of the Christmas scarecrow is well known in the French regions of Alsace and Lorraine.
Vichy.
I lived in Strasbourg for a bit. Nice part of the world. Yeah. Hans Trapp, according to the story, lived in the 1400s, a rich, powerful, and merciless man who was feared by the people of Alsace. Yeah, it's kind of like the very agricultural part of France. So
it's right on the German border, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's what a lot of the other people look down and amaze them, but that's where Cronenberg comes from. So
David Cronenberg.
Yeah. If you've ever seen that Eric Cantona advert, salutes the brave farmers of Alsace or whatever. Yeah, his thirst of power was so great that he turned to deals with the devil to enhance his power and status.
Oh, right.
And he became the person who brewed Cronenberg, the origin stories.
He knows how to make a deal.
Yeah.
That used to, when I was drinking, then Cronenberg would be my pub choice of the ones that you get in every pub.
Yeah, your standard chain pub sort of stuff. Yeah, it's got a bit of hops and stuff in it. It's got a bit of flavour. Hearing of this, the Pope himself excommunicated Trapp. After which he was banished from Alsace and his wealth and lands confiscated, all of which is nothing compared to what came next.
Fucking hell.
Okay.
The Pope used to be really powerful.
Yeah, he could pretty much do what they wanted.
Was this the time when there were just like 3 popes, where there was one in South France and one in Italy and one in Constantinople?
I think that was just before. So, yeah, there was the anti-popes were in the 1300s, I think, the 14th century. I think it was all over by the 1400s.
Okay.
Century.
But this would have been during the Holy Roman Empire, wouldn't it? So Alsace would have been part of that.
I'm not sure. Might have been.
Definitely.
Let's look.
We had lots of little city-states.
Yeah, definitely around Germany. Trapp was reduced to constructing a makeshift home in the mountains of Bavaria in Germany, and the legend goes on.
Here we go. He's off to Bavaria.
Yes. He continued to brood and his evil desires festered. He developed a hankering to try the taste of human flesh.
Well, we've all been there and we've been stuck in Bavaria.
Get bored of sausage. Finally, he became the dreaded Christmas scarecrow, adorned in straw as a disguise. He waited on lonely roads for a victim.
Right, so he wasn't actually a scarecrow. He just dressed as one so that people would then he could jump out at them. So they just think it was a scarecrow.
Well, they might have just thought it was a haystack or something. A small, oddly constructed haystack.
I mean, I think scarecrow's fine, isn't it?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have thought he was a grandfather clock made of straw.
Yeah. I don't know. He's clearly
I don't know what goes through their minds.
I'm not sure what's going through his head. So, a boy aged 10 happened across his path one day. Trapp stabbed the unfortunate shepherd's boy with a vicious, sharp stick, with the body safely back in his
Not even
lair.
a knife.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. It's hardcore.
So he's going proper. He's going rustic.
So he sliced it into pieces and roasted it, but before he could eat it, he was struck by a divine lightning bolt and killed.
Oh, Zeus! Finally,
Zeus
stepped
was
in.
none of it. It's like,
Come on, I'm the only one who eats human flesh.
St. Nick's clearly not going to do anything.
No, he's like, he ain't heavy. He's my brother, sort of thing.
So today, naughty children are warned that Hans Trapp's spirit lingers on, and he may visit them in his scarecrow disguise if they don't mend their ways.
Right. So again, it's a way of parents controlling kids, but this time it's that he's going to stab you up and eat you.
Just depending on how naughty your child is, you just see how far you're going to have to go with this. A lot of parenting by fable. In Germany years ago.
Seems to be. So he didn't actually get to, after all that, he didn't even get to eat human flesh.
No, it's kind of
according
sad,
to that tale.
Well, according to the Ripley's tale, it's he didn't actually manage to fulfill his cannibalistic urges. Sadly he did.
I mean, it's a bit of a waste, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but now St. Nick could revive the kid. This is what I'm thinking.
Well, he won't.
But he wasn't. Well, he won't. Of course, he won't.
Won't. No, it's no profit in it. It's only a shepherd's son.
He's already done that trick once.
Yeah, that's it.
You do it twice, just sort of, he can come back to the same old things. Right.
Difficult second album.
Yeah, exactly. You impressed me once, Nick. Let's see where you go with it now. Okay, popular bogeyman and a frightening tall tale, you may think, but nothing more than that. Sadly, though, we got some bad news. The story seems to be inspired by an incredible true tale of a real person.
Oh, here we go. It's like Fad the Impaler.
Yeah. And they've got another sort of Christmas card image of the Christ child wandering around, handing out candies and stuff, and then he's got Hans Trapp creeping in the window as well. Christ child, close the window. Demons getting in.
When you say candies, do you mean sweets?
Like candied fruit and things like that. Yeah, sweets. Oh, he's actually, he's just like holding a bell.
Can't eat bells, Neil. I've told you that several times.
You can if you boil them enough sugar. The bell's made out of chocolate.
Like that French guy in the turn of the 19th century who just used to eat everything. It's like called Le Gaston or something, and he ate a plane and shit.
Yeah, no, I know about this. Or there's some conditions at Pica or something where they just eat like bits of cement and stuff, or just like picking apart bits of the walls and just sort of eating disorder or something. Anyway, Hans von Trotha was a knight who lived from 1450 to 1503. He commanded 2 castles in the Palatine, which is the French-German territory, and became embroiled in an argument with the church over the property in one of them. The abbot would not concede certain properties of von Trotha, so the embittered knight stopped the supply of water to the town of Weissenberg with a dam.
That's quite good. Civil engineering by revenge.
Yeah. This is why you don't put too much power in one place.
Yeah.
But then, in retaliation, the abbot had the dam destroyed, which flooded the villagers' homes and businesses. I mean, neither of you are exactly covering yourselves in glory here, are you?
Two really bitter people.
Church, all the nobility. Oh, well, you want to block it up? I'll drown the whole village. How about that?
This is why I've always preferred the burghers, Neil, rather than the church of nobility.
Well, just get on with it, discreet bit of poison, bit of regime change. Off we go. Minimal casualties on either side. Dispute the morality, but, it's effective.
Gets the job done. Got to make an omelette.
Exactly. So the dispute continued until just with Hans Trapp, the knight was summoned by the Pope himself and excommunicated.
Oh.
Now, you'll be sad to know, Chris, there's no record of him turning to cannibalism and hunting children while dressed as a scarecrow.
Oh.
But what we do know of his life is extraordinary.
Ooh.
So even the Emperor's intervention wasn't enough to put a stop to the knight's battle with the abbot of Weissenberg Abbey.
These two just really didn't like each other.
Yeah, they just... I don't know. Do you reckon it... I reckon secretly they was kind of just vying for each other's attention. Right, there's a little bit more.
You reckon they actually quite liked each other in ways that was confusing to them?
Couldn't admit to it in that period of the medieval era.
Well, if you've already been excommunicated...
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Fill your boots.
So in comes Pope Innocent the 8th.
Not so innocent.
On his summoning to successor Alexander the whatever his papal court, von Trotha refused to attend. Instead, he sent a letter to the Pope, which expanded on von Trotha's faith while accusing the Pope of all manner of impure acts.
I mean,
yeah, it's entirely
almost all true. Yeah.
Even excommunicated, the wily von Trotha did well for himself. Serving the French royal court, he was given the Chevalier d'Or by King Louis XII. On his death, all charges against him were reversed and forgiven. So here you go.
There you go.
Something of his notoriety lived on, though, not only in Hans Trapp. Local legends also referred to him as the Black Knight, a formidable spectre that was sometimes said to accompany Santa Claus and punish children who were unworthy of gifts. Call him Hans Trapp or the Black Knight, either or.
The Black Knight riding along with Santa with his reindeers.
Yeah, another. Santa's basically
just jousting pole.
He's basically just putting together like a motorcycle gang, isn't it? Do you reckon he's just smuggling a lot of meth these days and weapons?
Yeah, probably.
In Mexico. A real kind of Sons of Anarchy vibe to this whole fucking gang he's got going together.
Yeah, like Krampus is trying to get patched.
Yeah.
He's like, I need you to go and beat these guys around the leg, prospect.
Yeah, Krampus trying to earn his cut.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound a lot like that. Can imagine that. Santa's got the beard, hasn't he? Like the motorcycle people do. He's got the beard. He's got, I guess back in those days, he didn't have motorbikes, so he'd ride a reindeer or a horse.
St. Nick would be like a denim cut, wouldn't he? He wouldn't have the leather.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon he'd have a crushed velvet cut.
Yeah. I mean,
sort of like
Hans von Trapp has probably got one made out of like, who knows what.
Kid skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would they be called? The Christmas Boys? That's terrifying. Holiday Hellraisers.
Well, what would be a good name, but it's for a separate one that we'll cover on another one of these, is the Yule Lads.
The Yule Lads, yeah. But they're their own gang.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're like the Mayans.
Yeah.
The Icelandic Christmas motorcycle gang.
Do you reckon a lot of these motorcycle gangs were
based on?
They were based on Christmas legends. I don't know.
I think it certainly seems likely to me. Maybe we should contact the Hells Angels and ask them, are you based on the Yule Lads? I'm sure they'd love that.
How did you know?
Only the top ranking members of us have seen that scroll.
Do you reckon they've got a Brighton chapter? I wouldn't have thought so, but maybe somewhere in England.
There are Hells Angel chapters in England, yeah. But the thing is, like, they don't. It's more like a sort of elderly biker social club. It's not like in America where they're kind of outlaw bikers.
I suspect it's some over there as well, though, because I mean, I do know there's a lot of some, but I think, for some of them it is literally criminal gangs, but I suspect some of it is just like something to go knock out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they've tried to clean up their image, haven't they, by doing lots of community stuff and that kind of thing. Yeah,
well, I think that it stemmed out of veterans of the Second World War.
It did, yeah, ex-fighter pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah, who wanted the thrill.
Yes. Okay, so that's Hans Trapp. So, despite what Ripley said, I'm not quite sure.
His life wasn't that extraordinary.
Pretty much did what he'd already said he'd done, which is get excommunicated and not give a shit. But he lived on his own terms.
And inspired motorcycle gang culture.
That's not too shabby, is it?
Not too shabby at all. Well, I don't know about you, Neil, but that toilet wine's calling me again.
Yes,
I need to try and get
into that.
Yeah, try and drink myself to sleep again. Hopefully the weather will be better tomorrow and we'll be able to get out of here before we go insane.
Fingers crossed.
But
wouldn't want to spend all 12 days of Christmas in here.
Certainly wouldn't. That would be inconvenient.
So ill-advised kind of.
Yeah, well, that's it for today. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're doing at home. If you've got time off, cool. If not, hope work's not too shit. But we'll be back with another Christmas tale. Probably, I don't know if it's going to be another one of Santa's gang.
Well, maybe try something different, see how we feel.
Well, we'll see what comes up. But that's it for today, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Enjoy yourself. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ho, ho, ho! See you tomorrow. Remember, don't drink and drive. Ho, 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 ho!